Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports, coming to you with a special interview tonight. That's been 1 year in the making since I last interviewed this gentleman. He is the muscle behind the hustle and the muscle. He is the epitome of a professional wrestler. He is also a friend of mine, so you might hear some friend and fan questions out of me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Karam. How are you, Karam?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad we're able to catch up and been seeing you in action again in person, which has been a lot of fun for me personally.
Appreciate
And
it.
yeah, and so I want to bring us back to March because I feel like that's a good starting point. And back in March, you were gearing up for WrestleMania weekend. You had some
Mhm.
big matches planned down in Florida. And about a week or two before WrestleMania weekend, it was announced that you had to pull out of the shows due to a knee injury, which led you to having knee surgery. And so I guess right out of the gate, my first question would be is when you found out that you had to undergo knee surgery and pull out of the shows, what was going through your mind?
I wanted to quit, man. I wanted to just hang up the boots. Dude, I went through a really bad knee injury on the other leg, and I had so many complications with it. I had like so many infections, and it took forever to heal. So I was just really scarred, and nervous. I would have to go through all that again. So I really just wanted to, and I was sick of like just being on crutches. So I was gonna hang it up, but luckily, I surround myself with good people like Hakeem, Jake Something, Ren Jones, Xavier Walker. All those guys kind of pushed me, and let me know and reassured me that I'm like the future and I have potential in this and don't quit. But I was afraid of being labeled as broken goods and stuff. So, but luckily I overcame that, and I'm glad I didn't quit because now I'm like having like it went from the worst year to like the best year. I'm accomplishing so much, and I'm really thankful, for the people around me and for my mindset.
What goals did you set for yourself during your recovery and rehab?
I mean, like the cliche stuff, like bigger, faster, stronger, man. I was already in shape, hence like in the muscle. I was already in shape, but I wanted to become even sharper. So, it's funny. I kind of like weigh the same as I did before. I just look a lot better. Honestly, man, yeah, simple as that. I felt like I had something to prove because I didn't want to be labeled as broken goods or anything like that. I wanted to come back better. And, I was supposed to be out for 9 months and I came back in 5. So I feel like I really proved a point. So I'm happy with that. And I'm thankful again that I didn't quit.
Yeah. Were you surprised with the overwhelming amount of support from your peers and fans during your recovery?
Yes. Yes. Like I said, like I learned from the get-go to surround myself with good people, and I was always guided the right way. And those people are now, they've developed into friendships that are genuine, and people really cared about me even when I was like on the lowest of the low. But I am gonna say, like, and this is not like a dramatic thing or anything. I was surprised at some of the people that didn't reach out, that were close to me before it and then just didn't reach out during it. And then when I make strides, you hear from them again. And that was a little surprising with some people. And I'm not going to name drop anything because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I was surprised by the overwhelming like support by my close friends and like strangers too. And also surprised by some close friends who didn't reach out. So it was kind of like a double-ended sword in that sense.
Yeah. One of your first matches back was against Tommy Vendetta in IPW. Would you say that he's one of your best rivals so far in your career?
It's funny you say that because we just had a match and both of us didn't like it. Like we weren't happy with it, and it's neither of our faults. We weren't in it. The vibe of the show and how I came back and everything like that. And it's nobody's fault. It's just like it just is what it is. Like we just, that's the indies. So we kind of have this thing where we owe each other one right now, and hopefully that can be soon. as far as like greatest rival, and I want to like answer your question with that. Me and Tom, we have this friendship where we live together, we train together, we grew up in this business together. You know, started at the same time, traveled on the road when we first started, and obviously he's taking a different path, more of a death match. You know, doing his thing and being all around most of the time. I don't want to just call him a deathmatch wrestler because he's more than that. But you know, he's taking a different route and I'm taking a different route. And but there's always going to be, when we are at the same show, that friendly competition, and we both like that. You know what I mean? And we respect each other. You know, and we respect each other's routes and how we do business and how we go about it. And so yeah, I would say so. To answer the question, yes. He's always going to be that person to where, like, hey, let's see what each other got. He pushes me and I push him, and it'll always be that way, I think, until one of us retire.
Yeah. So this is more of a curiosity question than anything.
Sure.
Because I want to kind of go back to that day. How hard was it for you to sit and hide in the locker room in IPW?
I was late, bro.
That's shocking though, because
yeah.
I had gotten there like an hour, I think an hour before the doors even opened.
Yeah, I came late purposely because I was surprised, so it was just easier to kind of get into the building that way, you know. And then I did see, I was behind the curtain for a good 30 minutes. It was so funny because I could see everybody, but they couldn't see me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't too hard. I like doing that stuff because I did the same thing at Metro Pro.
Yeah.
Where they put me in the hood and everything like that, and then I made the surprise return and hit Tommy Vendetta.
Yeah.
You know. So,
yeah.
Yeah. He still, that coward, still didn't. He interfered in my match against Isaiah Moore, which was really good, by the way. I'm really bummed that there's no footage of that.
Yeah.
And he just disappeared. So hey, coward, come back. You owe me one.
Actually, technically owes you two now.
He does owe me two.
Because of what happened.
2 out of 3.
Because him and Mr. Wick cost you a certain championship last weekend.
That's right. Yeah. I don't want to think about it, bro.
No, I know. But like, okay, so this is the friend and fan in me coming out a little bit. That moment that you walked through that curtain was my favorite pro wrestling moment of the year.
Oh, thanks, man.
Without a doubt.
That.
Like, I mean, yeah, I got the Cesaro video back in February. You know, that's cool and everything, but like, I don't know Cesaro. Like, right. I know Karam, and just like in Paw about a month ago, Anderson Knight came back after almost 2 years gone, and he's been one of my best friends for like 10 years, and he didn't tell me he was coming back. So like, same scenario, first match on the show, pops to the curtain, and you could just like, I wish there was video of it, but because you can see the look on my face.
Oh,
I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, IPW has, you know, you and the rest of the IPW fan base are really good, man. They treat me very well. I'm very appreciative of them, and you know, I'm just waiting for Josh Raymond to make his return now there, you know, because I do think that company needs him. I think it's being ran pretty well, but we need the guy who created it, and you know, and this is literally, and it's all positive. I like the way it's going now. Yeah. I miss you, you know, if he listens to this or however, I miss you, Josh Raymond, and we want you back. So
I think everybody does. I get that sentiment from a lot of people, and I reach out to Josh on a regular basis, and I do remind him that he is missed and that he has a legacy in this business that not a 100%. Lot of people can match up to.
He has had my back since like day one, like since he first met me. He just showed that he's a really good guy, and you know, I'm really thankful for him. He pretty much gave me like my official like first like match as Karam, as the muscle, and I, you know, if I can, I want him back, man. That's pretty much it, you know.
So you have also made your return to AAW and are
Hmm.
continuing to create chaos with Hakeem Zayn.
Yeah.
Are you two looking to go after the AAW Tag Team Championships anytime soon?
We're gonna take them all, bro. Like, it's so funny because like everyone's like, "What's your goal there?" Everything. We're just here to beat. I don't know if I could swear on this,
Yeah,
but
go for it.
we're just here to beat the shit out of the whole locker room.
Yeah.
Like, look, man, Ace Austin comes in here with his like little attitude, snuffing everything. So I beat the shit out of his girlfriend. It's that simple, man. And Myron wants to get in the way every time, and dude doesn't learn. Every time he has gotten involved with Hakeem, I end up beating his ass, and we take everything home. All right. So if they want to have a tag match, which is this Friday, if they want to have a tag match on Fight TV, by the way,
I'm watching.
feel free, but they're not going to beat Hakeem and I. I know that they're best friends. They got a history. They grew up in Ohio together, broke in together, all that stuff. Whatever, dude. All I know is I don't like either of them. So that's that, man. I'm going to beat the shit out of both of them. Hakeem's going to beat the shit out of both of them. And whoever wants to come at us next, feel free. If it happens to be for the tag titles, we'll be happy to take that too. No big deal.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that was put on hold due to your injury was your feud with KLD at WrestleMax St. Louis. How excited are you about competing in St. Louis again?
Yeah, he's an asshole too, man. Yeah, I really don't like that guy. Dude, I like St. Louis just because they're passionate, but they cheer for the wrong dudes, man. Like, they're so brainwashed that they think like KLD is like a good guy, and whoever he brings in is like a good guy. And keep in mind, like, the last time I was there, I wasn't even invited. I showed up. I just showed up. I'm like, hey, dude, you can't keep me out of here. And what they do? Nothing. He ran away. All he does is run away. I had to get pulled apart and get put to the outside. So whatever. He wants to have a match now. So be it. We can go by the rules. We can do however he wants to do it. What's going to happen is he's going to get the ass whooping that he's been asking for like 2 years now. Seriously, I hate that dude, man. I can't get over how much I hate the guy.
Yeah, and it shows too, because I saw the footage of your confrontation. I'm like, man, like Karam wants to take his head off.
Yeah, I do. Like, seriously, man. Okay, bro. Okay, Mr. Promoter, whatever. Come on. You want to, I mean, it's smart. You're booking yourself against the star of the making. You know what I mean? In the making. So, hey, man, whatever gets you elevated, I'll be glad to elevate you, homie. Yeah. That's fine. And I'll be sure to whoop your ass in the process. Yeah. So,
yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So, another place you've been recently, and I was actually fortunate enough to watch this on IWTV back in September. You competed in the heavy hitters tournament, which featured OWA and Paradigm. I know you appear on OWA regularly, but will fans see you in Paradigm in the near future?
I have no idea, man. To be honest, I've never really been in talks with Paradigm. So I don't know. If they want to, I'm more than open to work for them. But as far as right now, I haven't heard anything. I'm an OWA guy. Okay. You could see me Saturday there in Ohio. I'm going to be fighting Manders, the Cowboy. So, yeah, so as far as Paradigm, I don't know. But they got a good thing going on. The product's good. They bring in good guys. So I'm all for it.
Sweet. And you touched on this at the top of the show, so I'll bring it up. Recently, you have been going to Florida to wrestle for Full Impact Pro, which is a part of WWN. And you recently won the FIP championship from John Davis. And you put yourself in some pretty elite company with the people that have held that title. And And so what did that championship win mean to you?
That's a loaded question, man. That people believe in me, is that, look, that title, everybody who is great held it, starting with Homicide. And you got Bryan Danielson, who's held it too, and you got Tyler Black, who's now Seth Rollins, who's held that. So it meant a lot that like the people that carried that title, the company who FIP, you know, it's humbling that they see me in the same light and they see the potential that I can bring, and they want to help me grow. Like, keep in mind, like, I'm growing holding this title, you know. I'm getting better as I'm holding this title, and just to see that they see the potential, and I'm not even at my peak yet, but they feel that I'm ready to carry that and build me and help me be the star that I am. I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for that. Just like I'm thankful for AAW for doing the same, is that they take a guy who has loaded potential, got the look, got the skill, and got the, you know, the mouthpiece. And any promotion that like doesn't, you know, just go for the gifts and, you know, all that, they go for that raw talent. I'm thankful for that, because they're viewing things long term, and I know long term, you know, I'm going to be one of the best.
Yeah.
So I'm very appreciative of it all. Really, I'm so thankful for them, and to help put me on the map. And you know, Sal and Trevin, the two that are with WWN and that run that promotion, they forever, like, you know, right here, bro. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. I love those guys.
Yeah. So speaking of championships, back when you were IPW champion, you had a title defense against Dread King Logan, and a lot of people that considered to be a dream match in Michigan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking for it for a while.
Oh, okay.
So how did you feel when the match was announced, and how did you feel after when the match was over?
I think we were both pretty excited when it was announced, and I think we both expected the same outcome. I think we performed really well. It was very hard hitting. We beat the shit out of each other. And I think it was what I expected it to be. And for it being the first one, it felt like we worked multiple times. So I got nothing to say about that, man. Dread King's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a long time. So you know, it's always good to be in the ring with people like that, and it was fun. It was really fun, hard hitting. It's like how I like my matches to be. So
so you know, I was sitting in the crowd that night, and I watched it from that perspective, being there in person, and I went back and watched it on video a week later, and I don't know what it was, but I felt like there was something different about you in that match, and I mean that in a good way. Like, I felt like there was like a level of intensity I've never seen out of you before. And I don't know if it's because the Logan has that same intensity, but just something about that match, I'm like, holy crap, like Karam's like super aggressive and angry in this match.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it.
That's so funny you say that, man, because my one take out of that match was, I always want to be intense, but you know, I usually don't have the competition facing me to make me that intense. You know what I mean? So having Dread King Logan, who's also a bigger guy and very physical, hard hitting, you know, that wakes you up a little bit. And I'm saying that in the best way possible. You know what I mean? Like, I like to feel it. You know, and he let me feel it, and he liked it the same way. So, like, you know, pro wrestling is pro wrestling, but there was some real shots in there, you know, and we wanted it to be that way. We talked, you know, and we were just like, hey, you know, we're going full on, man. You know, we're gonna beat the shit out of each other, and that's what we did. And I like that because it woke me up. You know, just like you said, there was a level of intensity, and he did bring a level of intensity out of me, and I'm appreciative of that. So yeah, man, smack me in the face if you want me to get mad. It's that easy, bro. Like, I don't know why. It's like people are afraid to hit me or something. No, man, hit me. Trust me. Like, I'll hit back, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the crowd was really into it too. Like,
oh yeah, like, dude. Yeah, it's for real. Yeah.
Like that Grand Rapids crowd, and this is me being a little biased and like not being fair to other crowds, and it's maybe because it's my hometown, but I feel like Grand Rapids has one of the best crowds in the state.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, they do. I don't know why I said thank you. It's like I'm from Grand Rapids, so no, I said thank you because it's just like, thank you guys for having that energy, you know, when we're there. I love like working at Grand Rapids. The crowd's always hot.
Yeah.
And I think IPW has definitely built a name around there. So yeah, like again, that was a really fun show. And yeah, man, that level of intensity was awesome. So
Yeah.
thanks for noticing that.
Yes. What have promotions like AAW, FIP, IPW, and OWA meant to you in your career so far?
Those and Glory Pro. Look, I'm appreciative of everybody who puts it on the map. IPW was my first heavyweight championship win. You know,
Yeah.
my first title win, and that goes to Josh believing in me. So any promotion that wants to bring me in and believes in me and knows that I can be a draw. Same thing with Sanctuary Fight Club. You know, Sanctuary Fight Club, you should definitely check it out, man. That's the place to be in Michigan, hands down. You know, I'm gonna put it on top. Like, if you're talking about Detroit area, that is the best promotion in Michigan. And I'm just going to say it. That's not to, you know, diss anybody else. Everybody's doing their own thing. In my opinion, as far as like production and, you know, everything like that, it's phenomenal. So
My only, and I saw your match with Matt Cross. The only thing I wish Sanctuary would do was put their shows on a streaming service somewhere, because I think they would kill it. I think they would kill it, because
I think so too. I'm sorry.
Was it like, because I've seen their setup. I mean, I've seen the photos. I talk to photographer Jerry all the time.
Yeah.
And like, just if they were on like Fight or IWTV, or even putting their shows on YouTube, I feel like they would blow up.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what their plans are because they have footage. I don't know what their plans are, or I'm not going to speak for them on the behalf. I know that you know, Rich does a very good job, and he always has good ideas. So whatever he has planned with that footage, it's probably for the good.
Yeah.
So I don't, like I said, I don't know. You know, I never ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
You know, I know if I asked for the footage to view, he would always show me, and I could use it to kind of show people my potential and what I got. He's a great guy and a great promoter. And but as far as what he does with the footage, I don't know what he's doing with it, but you know, it's gonna be for good.
Yeah, good. Because I would love to see it someday. Like,
yeah.
It's hard for me to, you know, drive 3 hours to a show and whatnot.
For sure.
Because I'll be honest, I try
sure.
to catch all of your matches whenever I can see them on streaming services and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
So,
I appreciate that, man. I know you do. I know you always catch my stuff. So
so, you know, we talk about Michigan a little bit. I kind of just want to gauge you on this a little bit. I noticed that you are kind of selectful with the promotions that you wrestle for. Is that by design?
Yes. I as far as like, I'm not too interested to work everywhere in Michigan. Okay, it's where I'm from. People know who I am around here. I go where there's reason to, but you know, as far as like, I've had injuries, and I know my worth, and I know what I could bring to the table, and you know, and I probably sound like a diva saying it, but it's really just like, yeah, I am selective, and I want to work where I want to work, you know, and I'm happy with where I'm working right now. You know, I have Metro Pro that I do pretty much I like Bubba, and Bubba treats me well, and so I always have a good relationship with Bubba. Josh Raymond is all the way, you know, IPW is all the way in the Grand Rapids at Western Michigan, so that's really you know, that's its own thing. But as far as Metro Detroit, Sanctuary is always going to be my home. I want to say that's my home, and if you want to see me consistently in Michigan, that's going to be the place. And then Metro Pro, you can see me there at times as well.
Yeah.
And it is by design. Design. I'm happy with that. I don't want to oversaturate myself in the area. So
that makes sense. Promotions like AEW and Impact and even Major League Wrestling just announced that they are becoming more open and flexible to working with outside talent. Um, who from those promotions would you eventually like to work with?
Hammerstone, man, because that would be like Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan, brother. You know what I mean? It would be.
Yeah.
Hammerstone. A lot of people don't know. Hammerstone actually writes my diet out and everything like that. So I've been really looking a lot better. You know, shout out to him. He's been kind of doing my program for a month now. And I like the changes, a little bit of tweaks in my program, my workout regiment too. It's really adding a lot of quality size to me. So shout out to that dude. Hammerstone. That's going to be number one, man. Myron, even though I'm working with him on Friday, not where I'm beating his ass on Friday. And then, honestly, man, that roster is so loaded. Really, anybody there.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the powerhouses there are really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, send them my way. I feel like I would be like a great fit over there.
Yeah.
Just because of the roster and who I could work with there. I think it would be an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
But we'll see where I go. So.
Yeah. Anybody from AEW or Impact you would be interested in?
AEW, yeah. I mean, like, oh man, Impact. Well, you know, Moose, obviously, Josh Alexander, Trey, all those guys. Yeah, people there. AEW. I had a fatal four with Daniel Garcia involved in it before on Evolve.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you watched that.
Yes, I did.
And then so Daniel Garcia for sure. I would love to work with Daniel Garcia any day of the week. I think he's like, before he got signed, he was the face of our generation of independent wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like hands down. Like I'm a huge fan of that guy. I'm trying to think. Dante, I would launch that dude everywhere. It'd be awesome. And you know, all the names that are there, man. That roster is huge. I would work with everybody there. You know, so I mean, the talent they bring in too, on Dark, I'd love to work with all those guys too. AEW is such a good product that like everyone there, it's like, oh, I'd love to work with that whole locker room.
Yeah, yeah. Who in Michigan would you like to face that you haven't yet?
Well, I worked with all of DTA for the most part, whether in tag matches or multi-man matches as well. I think me and Bronner could have a really good singles match.
I've been wanting that for a while, actually.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people want to see me and Bronner, so that inevitably will make me want to work with him because that's a match like, oh, wow. I already worked with Isaiah Moore, but man, I would work with that guy 1,000 more times. That dude's so talented. I really like him too. Jason Hotch in a singles. You know, the top dogs in Michigan, man. You got Jason Hotch. I want another match with Aaron, you know, now that I've grown. I just had a match with Jack and Ren, you know, Xavier Walker, of course. You know, I'm trying to think like the people that are really mainstays in Michigan that are local.
There's one person. I recently interviewed somebody who
Nate Madsen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nate is like that. If man, you know, he says he's wrapping it up soon, so I really hope he fits me in.
Yeah.
I selfishly would love to be his last match. I have hella respect for that guy. Yeah. I think he's, you know, with all the youth in Michigan right now, you need someone like that in the locker room. You know, even like he'll come and help out the main event at Metro Pro. He is one of the reasons I work at Metro Pro. You know what I mean? Like seriously, because that's knowledge right there. Literally knowledge that you can pick in the locker room right there. You know, been in the game for 20 plus years. Knows exactly about everything and can come like he helps agent my matches if it's someone I ask him to. You know, if I'm stuck, he will help me and give me help with my identity, with what I want to do and everything like that. So as far as like working with him, hell yeah. I hope I can work with him more than one time in my career. Yeah. You know, seriously, like I can go on and on about Nate, and he's one of those like wrestling father figures, you know what I mean? To where he's seen me grow from my injuries, and he's seen the potential even after my injury and how fast I came. And he always gives me credit, and I really appreciate him. And I really appreciate the fact that he respects me, and he respects my hard work. And having someone who's so respected have a mutual respect in return, that's just something I'm thankful for.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I personally, I think that'd be a great match as
Hell
well.
Yeah. I'm old school, man. I'm old school.
Yeah.
So working with an old school guy like that, that's just gonna make me better.
So about a month ago, I interviewed Anderson Knight, who used to be CJ Anderson.
Yeah.
And he said he wanted another crack at you.
Sure, whenever. And Anderson was actually there's only two people I let pile drive me. It is Tommy Vendetta and it is Anderson. And I told him that. I said, because he gave me my first pile driver and he's taking care of me. You know what I mean? He gave me my first pile driver ever. So there's only two people that I'm like, and obviously that could change. I'm not gonna no, you can't pile drive. You know what I mean? But headshots are headshots, and we have to be careful with them. So far, there's only two people I have let pile drive me, and it is Tommy Vendetta, it is Anderson. So I think that goes to show that I would love to work with a guy. I trust him a lot.
Yeah, and it's funny because you both returned like within 2 months of each other, and because he was out for 2 years almost.
I know. The last time I saw him was pre-COVID, so then when we saw each other again, he's one of those guys that, like, I'm pretty sure we don't even have to talk in the back. I can go out there and we'll be just fine.
Yeah. Now a lot of wrestling fans today, they pretty much know everything because of social media, and like social media is just like open Pandora's box to basically everything in wrestling. Anyone that follows you on social media knows that you are close with Hakeem, Jake Something, Ren Jones, and Xavier Walker. Is there any chance that the five of you will team up someday or form a faction?
If they can afford us. If they want to book a match like that, I'm always for spreading good talent out in the whole show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If you want to put us all together, sure. I'm sure that's definitely something that would be really fun and exciting to do. But I always say, let us branch out in your shows, and it's always good to spread that talent. That's a lot of talent in one match. You know what I mean? So, it would be cool. But you can see the updated Hustle and the Muscle at Glory Pro. You got me, Hakeem, and Xavier. That's the Hustle and the Muscle at Glory Pro, man. So I mean, that's 3 out of the 5 guys you named. So if you want to see something like that, tune into that. And we're taking over that too, man. I don't know if you heard Hakeem's promo, but
no,
dude, check it out.
You want me to check? I'll have to.
Yeah, man. You know him. He spits fire 24/7.
He talks.
Yeah.
I love it.
So.
Honestly, he and Jake are basically the whole reasons I got back into watching Impact Wrestling.
Man. Those are my older brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love Jake. I love Yus, and they're forever my homies, man. I can get emotional talking about my boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
What's I gonna ask? Okay, so what matches do you like from a fan perspective? I know you kind of grew up being a fan too. What matches do you enjoy watching, like on the network, or just go back and kind of study
when the network was a thing?
Yeah.
I watch a lot of stuff from early 90s and late 80s. I'm a very old school guy in that sense, where I like things to look like a fight.
Yeah.
I'm not into things that seem a bit too choreographed. I'm into storylines. So storylines are really important for me. Promos, all that stuff, that I need those things to help me get interest in a match. You know what I mean? Of course, you put Josh Alexander and Jake something, everyone's gonna tune in, right? But like for me to be like completely invested as a fan, choosing winning or losing, it needs the storyline, it needs the promos, it needs all the substance to make the match interesting for me. And this is as a fan, you know, as a wrestler, there's so many matches I want to see.
Yeah.
But as a fan, you know, anything that's so like all that Roman Reigns stuff, like with the bloodline and the story with Paul and all that stuff, that interests me. That makes me, man, is Roman going to win or is Roman going to lose? You know, I don't know what to do. You know, I don't know. And it's always makes it like, if I don't know who's going to win or lose, that's when I'm happy. You know what I mean?
It's funny you bring that up because I watch this match there's a certain match I watch on a regular basis, and it's before the internet was even a thing. And my wife would even tell you that I'm obsessed with this match. January 1993, I think it was the second or third episode of Monday Night Raw ever. And it was Ric Flair versus Mr. Perfect in the loser leaves town match. And
I know that match.
Back then, there was no internet, so you didn't know Flair was going back to WCW.
Right.
And for a match of that like magnitude and caliber to be on freaking free TV,
cool, man.
Like that's my favorite Raw match of all time.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna go back and watch it now because you brought it up.
And you know what? Next time I see you, we can talk about it because like I feel like because I feel like, you know, just based off some of the stuff you just said, one, the story was there because Perfect had broken off from Flair, and two, they beat the hell out of each other in that match.
Oh yeah.
So,
you know, shit like that, man, I love. You know, I love that type of style. I like Southern style wrestling too. You know, like I'll work down south any day of the week. You know, they're more passionate and to the kayfabe. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for sure. Cool. And like I said, when it comes to modern wrestling, you know, it's always the main eventers that know how to put on like that stuff. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So my next question, because you talked about how Hakeem is a, you know, pretty big spitfire and really knows how to cut his promos. Mm-hmm. Who came up with the line of listen, learn, and absorb our truth?
Hakeem.
Okay.
He did. But it came from a place to where I think we were just talking about it. And it was like, they need to listen, man, and we're going to make them learn. And then this is our truth. This is our wrestling, you know?
I remember that promo. That was one of the first promos you guys did together in AAW. Now that you mention it, I remember, like, it wasn't a thing yet, but I remember you guys saying it, and I'm like, okay, that's where that came from.
Yeah, because at AAW, they don't tell us what to say. They just let us talk. So everything that comes out of there is just organic.
Yeah.
And it's another thing that I love being there is that I could develop that. And, you know, and I think being also with Hakeem plus that improv, hey, we're doing this right now. You got one take, let's go. Yeah. That's just making me better. So
do you think your theater
I think that's just from a conversation we did, and then we did that first promo and like, man, that was good. Do it. And then, and, you know, it's funny because we didn't even like make it a thing until like fans were like, listen, learn, absorb, and they're like, we got something.
Do you think your theater background has helped you with your promos?
Yeah, you know, for sure. I've done 8 years of theater, you know what I mean? So when it comes, I'm not afraid of being in front of a crowd. Like I'm never nervous to be in front of a crowd. And during that time, I've done classes like in Chicago for improv, and I advise any wrestler who's serious to take acting classes and things like that, because anybody can do moves and be a good worker, but it's what you spit on that microphone and how people relate to you is what's really gonna seal the deal, you know? So yeah, I think it had a huge carryover, and it made me passionate in performing. I knew I wanted to perform. I remember when I was done with theater, I kind of was in lingo because I like didn't know what to do. I was like, well, I like to perform, but I don't want to be like on Broadway or anything like that. And then you know, I started watching wrestling again because I had faded out of it after high school. And then the network came out. I was like, oh, that's cool. I could watch old stuff that I don't really remember. And then, so when I put that on, it started to click, like, this is theater. Like, oh, these are choreographed dances. And then I was the choreographer in my plays. Like, I choreographed our whole Grease play. I helped choreograph Hairspray. You know, that was something. So I was like, oh, instead of choreographing for 2 months, we're choreographing in 10 minutes, and we're going to have a 10-minute match, you know? So there's a lot of similarities in it where I felt like I was doing the same thing. Like, I grew up performing. I grew up talking. I grew up, you know, doing all these things, to where it was like, it was such a cool transition. It just was like a level up in what I was already doing.
Yeah. So you mentioned your theater and Broadway, like the acting stuff. So this is a totally random thought that just popped in my head. Have you ever seen the original West Side Story?
Yeah, man, of course.
Okay. How do you feel about the fact that they're making a remake of it?
I think all of those are like fine, man. You know, history is gonna always repeat itself.
Yeah.
Some people like the new stuff, some people like the old stuff. I really don't get I'm too emotional. Like, for me, I liked the new, you know, there was Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, which was awesome. I liked Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. And that's like, oh, really? Did you really like that more? You know? So it's like, you know, like, I ain't mad about it. There's some remakes that I like, and there's some remakes that I don't like. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. I didn't like Jersey Boys when they redid Jersey Boys. I didn't like that.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I feel like movies and music that are remade can be so subjective and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, for me, people look at me weird when I tell them that I like Disturbed's version of Sound of Silence better than I do the original.
Right. Yeah.
So my this will be a good one for you, because it's kind of how I introduced you at the top of the show. What do you mean when you say you are the epitome of a professional wrestler?
I'm like like, if you were to paint a picture or describe a professional wrestler, I'm pretty sure if you described them, someone would be like, you're kind of describing Karam right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, when you think about what a professional wrestler is, when it was with the look, the mic skill, the ring skill, everything, I am like the textbook definition of one. I'm the epitome of one. If you were to describe what a professional wrestler is, like I already said, that's what I am. Yeah. So, and I don't think anybody could disagree with that, you know? So, yeah.
Well, the reason I love that catchphrase, it actually kind of brings me back to when I was first introduced to the independent scene of Michigan. So I've been following the scene since I think it's 2003, 2004. So my best friend in high school was a pro wrestler on the Michigan scene, and he actually had one of the best names ever. He called himself Noah Lott, and still one of the best names ever. But like, one of his, like, two of his taglines, two things that he called himself. He called himself the definition of greatness and the picture of perfection. And so when I first heard you say epitome of a professional wrestler, I'm like, oh my God, like the memory bank just went off, because it's like, boy, that's kind of like in the same category as what Noah Lott did. And I'm like, man, just like that's freaking awesome. That's like that you need a shirt that says that.
Yeah, man, I'm right now I'm remaking the metal shirts that I had with me stepping on the monster, and it looks very like metal, like a metal shirt. Like I'll send you a pic after this, but I'm getting those restocked up, and then like we already talked about this before, but just me and Hakeem just really haven't agreed on a design for a t-shirt. So I know, like, we got to figure that out. We will. It's just kind of like a matter of time. I think sometimes we both get a little lazy on it, but I'm gonna have my own shirts remade, and then I'll let you know when those are available again.
I still think you should that artwork that one person made for you. I would
with me wearing the.
Yeah, I would love to see that as a shirt.
Yeah, I'm thinking how I would like that as a t-shirt. if I get more responses like that, it'll definitely happen. I might make it a pre-order where I won't get a bunch, but people who want one, I'll definitely make one. It'll be a limited time thing for sure.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I don't know, man. To be real with you, I take it day by day. Like, I
Yeah.
really don't know.
Yeah.
And I know everyone has like this 5 years. Or where I see myself getting signed. I don't know, because everybody's like thing is different. And every year someone's like, "Oh, you're gonna get signed. You're gonna get signed." You know what, man? I'm happy with the ride that I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Whenever something happens, it happens. But hopefully 5 years from now, I'm making more money.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
that's the only goal.
Why should fans and promoters get invested in what you're doing?
I don't know, why not? Invest in what I'm doing. I mean, look at what I'm doing. Every accolade. Look at since my injury, look who I've beaten: Matt Cross, Jake something, Zach Gowen. The list is gonna go on. And pretty soon, Ace Austin's gonna be on there. Pretty soon, mine's gonna be on there. Pretty soon, KLD is gonna be on. If you look to who I've worked with and you see the accolades that I've already done, and now I'm the F5P World Heavyweight Champion, how could you not be invested in it? You got a guy that got the body, that got the looks, that got the mic skill, that got the in-ring skill. I think my work shows that. I think my promos show that, and I think my body shows that. So, and I think my accolades show that. So, as far as like, why should they? Why shouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Lastly, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. It's at Karam Alame, KARAMALAME, and then on Twitter it's at Karam Pro _.
Okay.
So you can find me on there. Facebook's not for everybody, so
I noticed that when
yeah.
you came back, that Facebook was just was gone.
Yeah, you know what? Times are changing, man.
Yeah.
Really, I focus on Twitter and Instagram, so just follow me on there. Most
Yeah.
likely, if you're sending me a friend request on Facebook, I'm not going to reply to it. I have like literally 100-something Facebook requests from like 3 years ago now, where it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So,
Well,
unless we like see each other in person and they're like, "Oh, I sent you a friend request," even maybe that's a maybe. So
yeah. Well, I guess I'll consider myself lucky then.
You're a homie, man.
I just want first. I feel like I want to say this to end it, because I don't get a chance to talk to you face to face very often.
Sure. Which is why I wanted to do a video instead of just like answering this on a blog.
Yeah. First off, I want to thank you for being you, because you are one of the most genuine, humble, and honestly best human beings I've ever met. Number one.
Oh man.
Two, I haven't always had respect when it comes to the community and Michigan pro wrestling, and you have been very gracious with your time anytime I've ever reached out to you or we've talked at shows, and you were very welcoming and wanting to know more about my story when I told you what I'd been through in life. And not too many people on the scene have taken the time to get to know me and my story, and that is something I very, very much appreciate. And people ask me if I'm a fan of Karam. Yes, but I also consider myself a friend of Karam as well.
For sure, man. I appreciate you supporting me since day one, and in my book, you hold a place in my heart for sure. I'm really appreciative. You're always welcome to hit me up, call me, anything like that, man. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you doing this and allowing me to talk to you. So
yeah. And so on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Probably talk to you after we're done recording.
Sure.
This has been Karam, the Muscle, the epitome of a professional wrestler. He's got some big shows coming up, like this weekend and in the coming weeks.
Friday AAW, Saturday OWA, Sunday Sanctuary Fight Club. Check me out.
Okay. And for me, my name is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports. And remember, controversy doesn't come without criticism.